few poor countries in this world. Only the people are poor. When people didn't have enough to eat, when people were driven to the edge of desperation, there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the bauxite. They have taken out of these countries.
Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Wednesday edition of the Lall Show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. As usual, if you don't know, my name is Joshua Van Slackman, and I'll be your moderator for this evening, and I'm joined by the publisher of the Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lall. You know, something came to my mind while I was preparing for this show, and I'm happy that if I could have $1 million right now, and I'm worrying why is it that we're so rich with resources and I can't have that. So maybe you should think about that this evening as we go along with the Glenn Lall Show. Mr. Lall, good evening, over to you.
Good evening. Good evening, Josh. You want $1 million?
Yeah, I need $1 million.
Josh, with the kind of wealth we have, left the oil and the bauxite and the timber, and the manganese and all the diamonds and stuff like that. I believe that had we gotten a proper deal with Exxon, you could have been getting $1 million per month in your bank book. That's the kind of wealth we have out there. So, because we don't have a better deal, that's where you are. We would be begging. Lots of Guyanese will be begging. Namaste to all of you, wherever you're listening from, overseas or right across Guyana. I do appreciate you guys taking the time to listen every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. What I would appreciate more is if you guys tell your neighbors, call your friends, your families, the entire neighborhoods. Tell them to listen to the program every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Get them to listen to it if they don't have the time, 7:20 in PM. Tell them to listen to it next day, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's being played. The faster, the better. When we get people to know what's happening, trust me, we're gonna get movements. So let me say namaste again to all of you. I found an article in which the Russian President Vladimir Putin said, Africa is a cemetery for Africans. The man said, Africa will never be independent. Africans believe in Europeans, Americans, and Chinese more than themselves. They don't trust themselves at all. Africans, technocrats, engineers, aren't given the platform to practice what they studied. Instead, they hire the Chinese to construct roads for them. Putin say, a white man will commit a crime in Europe, but no action will be taken. None whatsoever. But let that happen in Africa. Let a white get touched in Africa. Is a big whole hullabaloo, big investigations. The man said the Africans see, the African authorities see white people as their demigods. He said an African man can be abducted, get harassed, and even be killed, but no African authority can even question that, if that has happened in Europe. He said African presents themselves as weak people with no hope, especially when dealing with Europeans and the Americans. They are their own enemies, Putin said. They hate each other, and this gives their colonial masters the opportunity to continue exploiting their resources. As far as I know, Putin said, Africa is more of God's chosen continent. It's a blessed continent. And it's time for Africans to realize they are in a place where Americans, Europeans, and Chinese are jealous of and wish it should be them. Putin went on to say, you can't compare African weather with any other weather. African soil can feed the whole of Europe, America, and Asia. But the problem is just one: the African themselves. Yeah. If you sit on gold, oil, uranium, and your people don't have food to eat, Putin said you're not human. Let me ask you, man, doesn't that fit Guyana? Huh? That is exactly where we are. Guys, I saw a poster sent to me this afternoon by one of my Middle Eastern friends who follows what is going on in Guyana with our oil. The poster says, Guyanese anti-PPP racism rally in Brooklyn. You hear that? Racism rally for Brooklyn on the 15th of August at 12 p.m. And the poster says, the march leaves Church Street and Flatbush Avenue to Grand Army Plaza. My friend said, instead of marching against ExxonMobil to get a better contract, these morons marching against the PPP, them own people, them own government. The guy said this is the disunity oil companies like. They like to see that when we fight against each other, they exploit our resources to the fullest. What a world we live in. My friend said, what a world we live in. Brothers and sisters, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. What do we have in Guyana? What I'm about to tell you would sound like fiction, but it's not. It's reality. Reality that is happening to us. Real people in real time, right now. And all of you in the dark, except for a few. Myself, people like Christopher Ram, and others. And those who are now waking up due to these programs and what people like Christopher Ram writing in the newspapers. Several stakeholders have called on the leaders of this country to renegotiate the Exxon contract. A Canadian and US group has been the latest calling for a change. Why are we hearing nothing? Not a single word from none of our leaders in Guyana. Can you guys answer that question? The numbers in the protest is rising, and I am very happy. I am very happy to see that. I want to see how long Mr. Ali, Mr. Jagdeo, Mr. Harmon, and the others will stay numb and dumb. Guys, let me say this. We are getting there. I am hearing stuff in my ear. You guys know I'm a man in the news business for 27 years. And you know people just throw things in my yard and in my office. I also hear things through the grapevine. I heard Exxon top brass had a meeting. All of them got their eyes and ears on Guyana. I was told they must read the Kaieteur News 2 o'clock in the morning. And they must listen keenly to all the radio programs and hearing what is going around. They're hearing what's going on in the streets already. I hear one of them say in the meeting, we're going to have to give Guyana something better. When I heard that, from the blueberry vine, I had to smile. It felt good. But I only hope that is something proper. I am just waiting to see the leaders' next move. Man, that's a good thing. Eh? You should smile too. Yes, that's a good tip I got. I am smiling. Guys, we don't only want a better deal, but a lot has to change in that contract. It's an unkind, uncaring, unmoving, and unsharing contract towards Guyana and its people. That contract has provisions in which the oil people can watch you full in your face while they rob you. That's how barefaced that contract is. It's like a man walk in your house, pick up your money safe, snatch your 15-year-old girl child, and walk out the house. And your parents can't say nothing because they sell out the child. Yes, Melina, that is what our leaders did to us with that Exxon contract.
Worse.
They are fetching out we money safes, not safe, safes, with our girl children, day after day. And the leaders who are supposed to say something, do something, all of them is numb and dumb. Brothers and sisters, fellow Guyanese, this is the biggest con game in the history of the world going on in Guyana by these oil people. And the financial gurus of Guyana, they're behaving like if they fall in a coma. We carried 3 stories in the Kaieteur News, Sunday, Monday, and today. Those 3 stories are my topic for tonight. You guys will love it. You ever find yourself, Joshua, in a chokehold, where the only thing you can do is give up? Yes. That's where Guyana finds itself with the oil taxes. Christopher Ram, an accountant and attorney at law, said a few days ago, Guyana caught in a financial chokehold. And within a few days, the Minister of Natural Resources must find over $5 billion to pay 2020 income tax for the 2 Stabroek Block partners. You hear that?
Yeah.
He said his conclusion was arrived at, and based on the review of the financial statements of Hess and Sinok, the 2 partners with Exxon. He said Vikram Bharat has to pay $2.3 billion to GRA for their portion of taxes. And Hess and Hess Corporation, no, it's Sinnock, the Chinese partner, has to pay $3.1 billion, which total $5.4 billion. Bharat has to pay GRA. That has to come out from our share of our oil. You hear that? That's what we sign on to. It therefore means that Hess and Sinnock walk away with $16.2 billion in profits in 2020 taxes. You hear that? Tax-free, they walk away with that. Mr. Ram said, failing to pay GRA the taxes would constitute a breach of the agreement. He said, taking that into consideration, Guyana put itself into a chokehold by Exxon partners. He said there were many calls to amend the contract, but those appeals fell on deaf ears. Guys, that is the agreement Trotman signed. He agreed that Guyana will pay taxes for the oil companies. How about he paying all of the taxes? Huh? Josh?
I agree. I got more money in the pocket.
I have never heard any madness like this in my lifetime. A man fetching out your wealth, giving you 2%, and on top of that, you got to take out your money to pay the man taxes.
Why does he walk free?
Is what is going on in this country, man. Huh? The man walk away with 98%. Can somebody tell me something what's going on here? Huh? We paying their taxes. Have you ever heard anything like this, man?
No.
Nowhere, ever.
And guess what? Guess what, Guyana? These guys went to Parliament in 2016 and passed that order which allows for the Income Tax Act to not apply to the oil companies. How you like that one? Huh?
Wow.
They should have changed the whole tax act to benefit all Guyanese,
Exactly.
not only the oil company. But you see the length and depth these leaders going to facilitate and to give away wealth. Huh? It therefore means, guys, that while local companies are required to obey all the provisions in Guyana's laws covering taxes, the Exxon people and all its partners are exempted from paying taxes in this land. Isn't this a beautiful country? I think I go in and become a foreigner and come back to this land. So I will not pay any taxes. You know, why the government don't pay the taxes for the teachers, the nurses, the police and the soldiers, even Kaieteur News, and all the rest of the companies too. Mr. Trotman, Mr. Jagdeo, Mr. Harmon, why don't you guys pay everybody taxes? Imagine your leaders bringing in foreign people here to take away your wealth, giving you nothing, absolutely nothing in royalties, and on top of that, you allow them to walk away without paying a cent taxes, man? This thing is unthinkable, Guyanese. What is going on in this country? Please, you guys got to wake up before it's too late. I am begging you. This is a life and death situation we're in. It's a very serious matter that must be corrected. It is I pass to all of us. Let me get some more. Let me get some more, please. We have a set of rogues in this land or what? Tony? The foreigner exempted from every single cent in taxes, and we have to pay it.
What a beautiful Guyana.
According to Christopher Ram, Guyana has been already shafted over $4 billion on Liza One project because of another loophole called ring fencing. That was the Monday story. Guys, when Exxon announced oil find back in 2015, several oil exports and international institutions begged Guyana to close up all the loopholes the contract had. Otherwise, the country would lose billions of American dollars in revenue. So said, it is already happening now. One of the people's recommendation was to have ring fencing provision to protect our pocket. That provision would stop them from transferring money from one project to another and charge you twice. It's like them buy one combine to cut 10-acre rice field for you. Then they move it to another rice field and charge you the same price for the combine again. So you pay 2 times for one combine. The IMF sent many reports to the coalition government to fix that loophole that sits in the ExxonMobil contract, and the coalition never did anything.
Wow.
Are you hearing this thing, man?
Wow.
The PPP came and they too and fixed it until now.
Wonder why.
Man, you got a window where they made a throughout your wealth through the window for your son to pick up and carry away every day. You're not going to grill up the window?
Of course.
Huh? Well, that is what is going on out there with our oil. The people transferring one cost from one project to another and sending we the bill every single day. And our leaders, the financial guru, Jagdeo, who is heading the oil and gas sector, also doing nothing about it. This man was president for 12 years. This man is now the vice president of this country. This man is an economist. And this man not saying a single word about these things. That's how they're managing our oil wealth. We don't lose $20 billion. No, 20 million US dollar in 2020 alone. And we ain't even started bringing up oil yet. Imagine what will happen in the future. Many oil experts say, by not blocking that loophole, them can rob you 2 ways. Not one. They will take out money from the oil they're pumping now and put it for future projects. You hear what I said? That's what's going on here.
Say it again.
They're taking out money from the oil they're pumping now, what they sell. They're taking out money from there to do other projects and then giving you your 50-50. Right?
They're doing the investing for
Yes.
us.
Them taking out money for the dry holes them digging. For all them projects out there.
If they even exist.
You know what I mean? Your money you supposed to get in your pocket from Liza One is shortening. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's how simple this thing is. So, let me ask you this. This is very simple. Who really investing money in this country, man? It's Guyana money investing out there. These people not investing anything.
It's we money.
Our money, yeah. Is your own idle money. What they're bringing up every day, they sell, take the money, and dig more holes, more dry holes,
And we pay for it.
and we paying for it, correct. Guyana's wealth is funding almost everything out there right now. Remember, tell y'all, foreign companies that come here, them only come for the contract. Once they get a contract, them don't bring no money here, bro. They come here for the fuss, and them hire. After they get a contract, they hire a few people, like me and you with the trucks, and they start doing the business. And as fast as they're digging the gold, and them catch their hand, them bringing them own stuff with we own gold, and bringing their own people, and then they kick the local people out.
Like a junkie.
Yes, like a junkie. This is what is going on with all the foreign players in this country. And Jagdeo and Harmon call that investment. Them that like to use the word direct investments. You know? A set of, I don't know if I can call them.
No, don't.
No, I'll be nice to you all tonight.
People like this.
Guys, because Guyana didn't patch up the loophole or put on the grill on the window, we getting robbed right now, left, right, and center. It's not only Exxon taking advantage of the loopholes, their partners too.
Of course.
Hess and Sinnock
Of course.
is doing the same thing.
It's a free for all.
Them taking out money from the daily production
Yes.
for other projects them working on.
Monkey do.
It means they're taking out money from the oil now, what they're bringing up, for other projects and share it on the other projects.
Future.
Yes. It's like me pick 100 mango from your tree, and when I sell the mangoes, I supposed to share it half and half with y'all. But before I share it, I take out money and buy a tractor for the other project, and then I share the half and half. So basically me knock you the tractor money. And when we start pick from the other mango tree, you gotta pay me the full price for the tractor all over again. 2 times, yes. That is what is going on out there, brothers and sisters. And every one of your leaders quiet. Every single one of them quiet.
Wonder why.
The man who exposed this lawlessness and the figures is chartered accountant and attorney at law. Let me repeat his name, Christopher Ram. He said he found that information in the company's financial statement for 2020. The Kaieteur News had reported that if we don't fix all these loopholes, all the other oil projects will suffer the same fate.
They're not loopholes, they're potholes.
Yes, they're potholes, yeah. Yeah, like our leaders like this pothole business, man. You know? Like they like this hole. You know? The man said this include Lisa 2, Lisa 3, and all the rest to come. It's billions of US dollars we can that they can rob us if we don't fix these holes, these loopholes. But our leaders, all of them, the PPP, the PNC, and the AFC, their mouths pace up. Maybe in some hole too.
Cat got it.
Exxon up there done.
Guys, this is barefaced skullduggery that is going on in this land. Imagine my reporter, Kiana Wilberg, before writing the story, tried to get a comment from Vice President Jagdeo, the financial guru who heads the oil and gas industry. She called the minister, Vikram Bharat. She made contact with Ashni Singh. She made contact with the GRA boss just to understand how they plan to plug this loophole. None of them answered or returned her calls. The girl said Vikram Bharat said he would send a response on Saturday night. That's Saturday night gone, before she wrote the story on Sunday. But up to today, Wednesday, she said she heard nothing from them. Maybe he sent a response to heaven, or maybe to ExxonMobil. What a Guyana this is.
I'm not upset with you.
Wow. What is going on here? Guys, it's not only a chokehold. These guys get catch with their pants down. That's the only reason I can think of with their silence. I can't think of nothing else. I am not upset with you, life.
Just astonished.
I am not. I am astonished. Trinidad would have been better off than Kuwait and Dubai had they fixed the loopholes their contract had, but they didn't get to see their contracts after 70 years. Recently they see the contract, and the Prime Minister Kaieteur Radio is now struggling to repair the damage by embarking on a campaign of contract renegotiation for their survival. Due to that, they're raking in billions now. Oil exports said that requires good governance, strong institutional framework, good decision making to correct the contract. We reported that story just Saturday gone in the Kaieteur News, where the expert Anthony Paul warned Guyana not to walk the same road Trinidad walked in. Anthony Paul said, put laws in place now to avoid being trapped or conned by oil companies. Brothers and sisters, we are already getting conned in the billions, and everyone is quiet. I am not upset with you, life. I'll pray for them all. Let me touch on the next story. Mr. Ram said, Iman said after going through ExxonMobil financial statements for the year 2020, last year, he can only describe it as vague and misleading. Hear that? Yes, he said the financial statement is not in keeping with international financial reporting standards. Hear that? Yes.
What did you expect?
Vague. Vague is like you're lost. You're confused. You don't know where your head or where your foot supposed to be. Yeah. You don't know anything. It's like you're crazy. That's what vague means. You don't know anything. Exxon subsidiary, which is ESSO, holds 45% working shares in the Stabrook oil block, and them responsible for the day-to-day activities, them in charge of the day-to-day spending, Ram said. He said the financial statement does not even mention SO, the company were whole 45% working shares in the oil block.
Wow.
Beautiful.
You hear that?
Yes.
He said the statement did not even recognize the two other partners, Hess and CNOC, in the 2020 financial statement.
Mystery. It's a mystery.
So the man doesn't know what kind of statement they put out. I wish I was an accountant. Chris Ram said, not a single line item in the income statement is clear for you to understand.
Wow.
There isn't a note to explain or to expand on what they are for. You hear me? Nothing. They just put it there, no explanation, no nothing. You figure it out yourself. He said the readers left to figure it out for themselves.
Just like the contract.
What comprises the numbers and what it means. Nancy doesn't know.
Every job you know.
Chris said all their financial statements disclose as little as possible.
Of course.
What little or nothing there in their statement. He said it is clear that they are trying to mislead us.
Of course.
Read between the lines, guys.
Yes.
Open your eyes, Guyana. Please. Please. Open your eyes. He further noted that the income statement is so bare, so flat, that the readers has no idea what constitute SO's 18.3 billion US dollar exploration cost, or the composition of its 20 billion administrative expenses, which were incurred in 2020. You hear that? You know, man, you know. The man said overall, the financial statement by Stabrook Block partners share one troubling characteristic. That is, to disclose as little as possible, if not mislead us. I'll trade them. To disclose little or nothing to Guyana, or to mislead us. Yeah. Ram said he will conduct a more detailed analysis on the financial statements and will let us know this week. But for now, he said he will take his time and go through. When you hear the man say the statement does not meet international financial reporting standard, something is wrong.
Big time.
Something is wrong
Big
Yeah.
time.
governing oil operations. Something definitely wrong. He said he can bring out the findings. And when he bring it out, I'll try to break it down so that you can understand what is going on. Our financial guru, Jagdeo, is an economist. Ashni Singh and all of them. Winston Jordan too. Where are their voices? Why aren't they telling the Guyanese people about these things? Wait, man. Is who really, we got leaders in the country?
No.
Huh?
Leaders.
Who's in charge of this country?
Exxon.
Do we have leaders in this land, man? Nobody is answering me.
Not at all. I wish.
Everything the oil company does is sneaky.
Yeah.
And we got no one waking up. We have been talking about renegotiation and fix all these loopholes years now. Man, what's going on in this land? Guys, I want to play a tape. Please listen. Listen to what the king of Guyana says. The man who is in charge of your livelihood. Listen what he said on an online radio. Could you play that? Yeah, he's a champion of the art. Mm-hmm.
The PSA is not a PSA that the PPP would have supported or given approval. We have commented publicly under the circumstances in which that PSA was hurriedly signed. Trotman was advised not to sign it. He got Exxon partly drafted the PSA. They handed it to him, and he was advised not to sign it, and he did sign it. And then the Global Witness said, when he was questioned by Global Witness in some newspapers, he said he was told to sign it. He has not mentioned who told him to sign it up to today. But the contract has several features that he would wish to change. Now, we have made it clear that because we don't want litigation, and that because there is in such an environment some sanctity of contracts, that we are not renegotiating the PSA for the Stabroek block. But when Exxon comes along for a PSA for Kaieteur and Kanji blocks that they're operators for, then they will have an entirely different PSA, a model PSA that we're working on now that will correct the deficiencies of the PSA that the Stabroek block had.
Guys, I feel like play that tape whole day on this radio station. Whole day. You guys understand anything he said?
Vaguely.
Vaguely, correct. Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you guys, if you didn't hear him clearly, what he said. And I want to quote him word for word. I'm not going to leave out anything. This is what he said. The PSA is not a PSA that the PPP would have supported or given approval. We have committed publicly under the circumstances in which that the PSA was horribly signed. Trotman was advised not to sign it because Exxon partly drafted the PSA. They handed it to him and he was advised not to sign it. And he did sign it. And then the Global Witness said, when he was questioned by Global Witness, he said he was told to sign it. He has not mentioned who has told him to sign it up to today. But the contract has several pages that he would have wished to change. Now we have made it clear, but that they are, because we don't want to litigate them, and that because there is in an environment some sanctity of contract, that we are not negotiating the PSA for Stabroek block. I really couldn't understand, but I'll continue to read. But when Exxon comes along for a contract for Kaieteur and Kanji oil block that they are the operator for, then they will have an entirely different PSA, a model PSA that we working on now that will have correct the deficiencies of the PSA that the Stabroek block had. That is word for word. I just read, dear brothers and sisters, what Jack Dale said. You guys understand what he said?
No.
Or what I read?
No.
Not really.
Well, that is what he said. You know, when you're playing games, you just fumble.
You're lying
Guys,
too.
you heard I could even hear he stuttering. You could hear how he fumbling. You hear how he dancing, chutney music, and bubbling with soul music. And deliberately going around in circle with words, trying to tell us, trying to blame Trotman for signing the contract. Yes, that's what he was trying to do. But Trotman signed the contract, Mr. Jagdeo. It done sign. And you guys saw the contract. You also heard David Granger take the blame and said he instructed Trotman to sign it. We reported on that many times, Mr. Jagdeo. It's neither here nor there, my friend. The contract signed. When you was in opposition, you said that you will correct all the misgivings, correct all the loopholes in the contract when you get into office. You said that. I will play the tape. What happened now? What kind of dirty, nasty game are you playing in this country with people's wealth, with the people's livelihood? Nobody wants to hear about how you're going to bring out a new model for the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. Nobody wants to hear the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks contract will not be like the established contract. What the people of this country wants to know, my friend, what I want to see and hear now is to correct the Stabrook block contract now.
Today,
Now.
yes.
Don't give us BS. Don't stop fooling this country.
Yes. Yeah.
Guys, Guyana, this is the biggest. Exxon block is the biggest. That block has half of the oil Guyana owns inside. What kind of nonsense this man talking? Guyana, y'all see what is happening in front y'all face?
Yes. Wake up.
That's why they don't want to hold press conferences.
Yep.
That's why they're running from the press
Yes.
and going to selective media houses.
Yeah.
Them hiding and ducking, running all over. Guyana, the Stabrook block is the biggest mango tree in your yard. It holds more mango than the Kaieteur, Kanji, and all the rest put together.
Yeah.
The contract itself have room for renegotiation.
Yes.
It is very clear. And these morons talking about sanctity of contract. Yes, it's signed in stone. It's signed with blood. You can't change it. I never even hear any one of the oil people talk about sanctity of contract.
Yes, that's true.
Like the way these we leaders talking about sanctity of contract. Let me ask you guys a point blank question. All of you, all the politicians. Is it that you are receiving some personal benefits
Yes.
from the oil company that is preventing you, all of you, from seeking to renegotiate this Stabrook block contract? Huh? Or should I and the Guyanese people read through the lines? You know, I tell you all, Monday, I am setting up an online radio station to really tell this nation peace of my mind. I think by next week, it will be up and running. I'm going to give you guys the station number. I can't, the things I want to say on this radio, going to put me before the court. And I'm tired going to court. I got some more court cases with Brasington. You know, an African professor, a man named Patrick Lubumba, also touched my heart when he described what's going on in Africa. When I listened to him, I thought he was talking about Guyana, but instead it was Africa. These are the man's words as he addressed a gathering at a public space in Ghana. It was sent to me by an African activist. The man said, the professor said, "Why do you want to lead? In Africa, the shortest route to ill-gotten wealth is political leadership." The man said, if you want to get wealthy without working for it at all, join African politics. That is the truth everywhere in Africa, except for very few places. The only place that stands out now in that regard, the professor said, is Tanzania, with President John Magufuli. The rest in Africa, I don't know. Excuse me, I am a visitor, the professor said. I had to laugh. He said they hunt and gather buildings, cars, and money. That is why African leadership does not attract the best men and women. The professor said African leaders only respond to bribes. He said he do not know whether it happens in Ghana because he's a visitor. He said African leaders also expect to be bribed so they can approve stuff, meaning approve contracts and so on.
Yep.
The professor said, until the day we are able to see the cost of racism, among other things, and the cost of corruption in Africa, Africa will never get good leaders.
That's true.
I feel the same way about Guyana.
Yes.
This country that we live in, unless we tackle corruption together, unless we start seeing every Guyanese as brothers and sisters,
Yes. Yes.
a very, very dark life is ahead for all Guyanese.
Doom. Doom.
In short, what the professor said there, people join, he said people join politics in Africa to thief. They join politics with an expectation that bribes will come their way so that they can build fancy mansions, acquire properties here, there, and everywhere, drive fancy cars. It sounds familiar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the Guyana.
Yes.
It's the Guyana the professor talked about there.
Yes.
The man said they do not want smart, honest, decent, and competent citizens. They want crooks. They surround themselves with crooks.
Chief men.
Yeah, they surround themselves with scamps and rogues all over.
Yes.
He said all of this being done because of race. Isn't it the same thing happening here in Guyana?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We look for race.
Yes.
We happy with our own thieves.
Yes. Tribe.
Mhm.
Tribalism.
Yeah. We are not looking at the bigger picture. We are not looking how the politicians fattening their pockets while their brothers and sisters, the masses of the population, can't even put tennis roll on their food tables.
Yes.
You guys happy with your own race thieving
Yes.
while the country suffer and starve. They're left to eat. They're left to scramble the crumbs. Yeah, I'll continue looking at race.
Yes.
Continue look at political party.
Yep.
fighting among ourselves, Guyana will become rich and our lives will become better. I am not upset with you, life. I am not. St. Croix completely shut down their oil refinery 2 days ago. The reason they claim are they said they're losing money and it's environmentally harmful to the island, while we president saying he left oil refinery for the private sector. I had to laugh when I see the news on CNN business page yesterday. Oil refinery in this day and age. These chaps really need to get some business lessons somewhere. They have a lot of friends. They have a lot of friends. They should ask them for some advice on how to do business, or should probably get them business friends. They have to set up a refinery in Guyana. What you say, Mr. Ali? That business is just as dead, like the gas to shore donkey. Wow, this is Guyana. Guys, before I say good night, let me say this. A black, dirty blanket is thrown over we by Exxon and our leaders, covering all Guyana. They are causing us great distress. Please, I beg you all, do something. Say something. Please. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you all. I am giving you room to take your telephone calls. Let's get going. And your questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lall. The telephone number for you to call this evening is 226-7453 and 226-7454. Caller, your very first caller for this evening. Good evening to you. Welcome to the Glenn Lall Show. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, good night to you. Welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Namaste, my brother.
Namaste.
Namaste.
My brother Glenn,
Namaste.
I am saying this to you. Only you, the only person in this history of Guyana now, a politician, not a politician, but to serve the people, you are a true Aryan. Hold your price, we are coming. You said we have honey in our country. But my brother, we don't have the bees to protect that honey.
I hear you loud and clear, my friend.
My brother, you going fine, yes.
Thank you.
The people in this country, like they do, don't concern, especially the university scholars, the lawyers, the doctors. Oh my God.
Yes, all of them silent.
It's a shame and disgrace. Close the university down. Now what we are passing, the president is saying, I'll give you free university now. That is for their friends. You can go there. When you're done there, you're going to join them.
Yeah.
And we people who are truthful, we have to slave and mind them forever.
I hear you.
My brother, I can sure that this politician, they barely got a little piece of bank book in our country. The rest, all overseas. They are doing like Bonham. Bonham not $93 million sent in the Swiss bank. Ask the question, who will tell you that who killed him? Them say, when the operation finished, they said, I got in medicine for leaving them back. you are going to operate for a man, you know, that's all the medicine in order.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Then, now when the children go there, they say, no, you have to come and live here. And only 1/3 you can get. 2/3 belong to us. If these politicians not see that happened to them, when they go there, them picnic can't get nothing. What's going on?
I heard that story. I heard that story. But I am telling you, this century we're living in, with today's technology, they will not enjoy anything. They might end up in jail. Trust me on that one. Trust me on that one.
My brother, I wish if we can get that.
Thank you.
But remember, don't back out.
Thank you. No.
If you back out, you better be sent for some rope. Buy some rope and bring them. And we go climb tree and tie them up and hang up yourself.
Yes.
What is people do?
I hear you, brother. I hear you. I could feel you too. I could feel you. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I could feel that man. What's going through? He understands clearly what I'm saying. Like he's seeing it.
Good night, Mr. Lall.
Yes, sir.
This is beyond critical. These leaders are not doing anything about that lopsided contract. They are obviously not looking out for our best interests. What would it take these leaders to actually, see the importance of changing this contract, man?
It's very clear, Ryan. Ryan, this contract, the provisions there, it's so clear that you have to fix it. Why they're not fixing it, Ryan? That's a tough. I just can't fathom. I can't find words to describe that. I just can't find words. How do you help me, Miss Harris?
It's not even a contract. I don't see it as a contract.
It's not a contract.
A contract is like mutually beneficial situation where both parties
Yeah.
receive, benefits. Guyana doesn't benefit from this.
And when you hear the vice president, who's heading the oil and gas sector, is saying that he's not touching the ExxonMobil contract, you heard him for himself. And he came on this radio and said, pump it, man, pump it, baby. Take it. It's like I don't know what's going on.
It's just an excuse because everyday contracts are renegotiated.
All over.
Employment contracts are renegotiated if workers are unhappy. Business contracts are renegotiated. Why is this contract so sacred that Guyana that gets nothing from it can't renegotiate it?
Hence I asked them the question. If they're benefiting anything?
It must be because we're not benefiting, so somebody has to be benefiting.
Somebody has to be benefiting.
Our children and grandchildren and their children will not benefit from it.
Maybe we have to do some prayers for them. Maybe if we get the Creator's intervention, if we pray to Him, the Creator will probably inspire them to bring about a change.
Good evening to you, caller.
Hi, good night, sir.
Good night to you, sir.
Good night, Mr. Glenal.
Yes.
And everybody inside here. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah. I want to know when Chinese going to start getting money after this time. If the leaders looking after you.
My friend, I have said it many times. The damage, the destruction that is being done presently and to come, the little money that you will be getting, the little, couscous money, will not be able to even fix the damages, much less to come in your pockets. You have to understand clearly, with this contract, there is nothing there for any one of us.
I got two more questions for you, Mr. Glenn.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The PPP that's fighting down GCOM, they're trying to knock out the 3 men for day benefit or the country benefit?
Brother,
That's the question we ask you.
brother, I don't want to get involved with things like that. I am dealing with our wealth, our pocket, our livelihood, brother. Let's stick with this. I am good at this. All right?
Okay, Mr. Glenn.
Thank you, bro.
Enjoy your night.
You too, man. Let's stick with our pockets, my friend.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Lall. I have a question. Good evening. What do our leaders do every day in their office?
What our leaders do every day in their office? That's a beautiful question, man. What I do, if you ask me my personal opinion, I believe they do nothing when they come.
Play jocks.
You pick up Jagdev or Irfan Ali or any one of them and say, come and tell us what you did today. They have done nothing to benefit any one of you. I could put my last dollar on that. They don't really work for us. They work for themselves. And they work for their friends. If the friend gotta get anything done, oh, they spend hours fixing that. You think they're working with me and you? Ah, come on. Try it. Let's call the bluff. Right? Let's call one of them. Come, tell us what you did last week Wednesday. Tell us what you did Thursday. Tell us what you did Friday. You'll be surprised that these guys doesn't do anything. They just go in there and is 1x. Is 1x. Yeah, that's what I do.
Good evening to you, caller.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Lall.
Good evening to you, my dear.
Thank you for all that you are doing for us. But I have a suggestion. Before Mr. Jagdeo went in, he had that his pre-election speech. He said that he was going to change the contract. I think you should play that speech every day so that the people who are still on the fence, they can hear what he said in his own words and see what he's doing today to us. I think it should be played every day.
I hear you loud and clear. He said that. They said that. The PVP rally or not?
Yes, that's what they said, that they will change it. Now it's a different story, and that's why I think you should play that every day.
Yes, I'm going to find it. Joshua, you're going to find it and play it. Yeah, but if you notice, they're hiding. They're not saying anything.
They're hiding, but at least the people, Mr. Lall, I am an older person, and I've been around for all these prejudices and everything. I don't mind to say I am on both sides because my parents were Indian and black. So I have no prejudice because if I hate one side, I hated my father. If I hate the other side, I'm hating my mother. So I am always neutral when it comes to that. But it's so much they put us to fight against each other in this country while they're robbing us.
Yeah. Well, all companies...
It's not on the things that we're supposed to focus on.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I suggest that you play that speech for all those who are still undecided, that they can hear from his own mouth what he said.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too. You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. It's not about playing the tape only, my dear. Is that they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. They're just falling in the lap where the oil companies wants us, fighting among ourselves. And while we fight among ourselves, they fetch away our wealth. Let me repeat again, the first thing oil companies do when they come to your country, they create chaos. They line the pockets of the politicians. And while we fight among ourselves, they fetch out your wealth. That's the first thing they come here and do. And when you read through the line, when you listen to that and read through the line, then you understand why everybody is so silent. Even media houses are silent.
Yes. Yep, the press is silent.
Yeah, they're silent.
They're busy reporting on
So, yes. The real problems they're not fixing. Yes.
It is time Guyanese people wake up and realize that the fight isn't about who's Indian and
Yeah.
who's black,
Correct.
or who's PPP and who's APNU FC. The
Exactly.
fight is against poverty, and any leader that come and try to hinder that fight is obviously not the right leaders for us, right?
agree with you.
I noticed some persons would have asked in the comment section about why we are talking about the oil so much and so on, because this oil is our wealth, and we can't allow people to just come and take our wealth away, right? We can't allow that. No one that I know would allow someone to just walk into their house and take their property away. So why should we allow someone to come and rob us like this?
Thank you. Thank you.
I think a lot of people do not understand that it's not just any kind of threat. This is an existential threat. If anything goes wrong with the oil, Guyana's completely done for. Trinidad, Barbados, our neighbors are done for as well, and we don't have any provisions to protect us from anything.
Here's this
So
one.
we can't stop talking about it, because if something happens, there's no Guyana, there's no Guyanese, there's no PPP, AFC, or any of them.
All gonna go down.
A matter of fact, tomorrow our lead story in the Kaieteur News, you know, is what? If you get an oil spill from Payara, the third project there, it will destroy even till to Jamaica. That's our lead story tomorrow, right? Till to Jamaica, and Jamaica is a very far away from Guyana.
People don't realize that.
And this is what you guys need to understand. Once you destroy a neighbor fence or a neighbor house, you have to fix the neighbor house and fence. You don't even have money to fix your own fence, your own house. Where are you going to get money to fix your neighbor house? And don't think you're going to walk away and say, well, I don't have and I don't have. Your children will have to fix it. If your children falls off the map and doesn't fix it, your grandchildren will have to fix it. So it must be fixed. And we have yet to get a document signed by ExxonMobil, Hess and CNOOC parent companies giving us that full insurance coverage. You doesn't have insurance. You got fire all around you. And the people who light in the fire ain't insuring your house. Who accept things like that, man?
They tell you you don't need insurance.
Huh?
They're telling you you don't need insurance.
Who accept things like this?
Nobody does.
Not even a child. Not even a 6-7-year-old child. That child will tell you plain, no, Dada, we got to get insurance. We have to be protected. But our leaders not saying a single word. None of them. These things eats you away. I have been eating away for the last 20 odd years. Every day in this newspaper business. I could talk whole day. I could talk so much of what went on for the last 27 years. It's unimaginable, the things that passes through me when the day comes. And I am so happy that I can come and sit on the radio. Like I said, I want to do it every day. I could talk whole day. But it will be, I would only give people stress. Wholesale stress.
You know, start supplying blood pressure pills.
And then I got to supply blood pressure tablet. You know? And they're fighting me in the courts. You know?
No, but that's what people need. People need pressure. People need to really understand that it's serious. It's not that people want to whine and complain that we're not getting enough of our wealth and, you know, we're greedy and we're asking too much. It's ours.
Yes.
It says it in our constitution. Everything in the seas, below it, above it, it's ours. And we're not getting a fair share from this deal. That's just simple maths. It's not even economics. It's just simple maths.
Exactly.
Yes, Mr. Lall, do the oil companies make better lives for Guyanese?
Do the oil companies
Make better lives for Guyanese?
make better lives for Guyanese?
Yeah.
You have nothing to get from them. You have nothing to get from them. Look, we had all this flooding. All this flooding. And they barely give 50,000 US. 50,000. Some local people
Give more than that.
give more than that. Our local brothers and sisters donate more than that.
Who pay
and
taxes.
who pay taxes.
Yep.
And this giant of the world give 50,000. You know, an oil worker told me that one of the company asked them to contribute to the flooding.
Oh my goodness.
Ask the employees to contribute to the flooding. You know what I mean? I don't know if it happened.
Uh-huh.
I have to find out back. They collect the workers' money, and then the company will come and say, hey, here, look, I'm donating this for my company. Not knowing is the workers' money they're collecting. The pittance they pay the workers, turning back and beg them people for help Guyana. And when they help Guyana, they're going to come out shining and smiling. Yes, it's very insulting what's going on. It's distressful.
So we have
wholesale thievery.
We have quite a few questions, and I'm going to try my best to try to read each and every one of them. Forgive us if we do miss any this evening. I'm going to say it up front. So the first question to you this evening is, where will Guyana find the money to pay GRA? You started off by telling us that this evening. Where will we find the money?
I would like to answer that individual. Where will Guyana get the money to pay GRA for the two oil companies?
Correct.
Maybe they're going to take it out from the rice farmer.
Oh my goodness.
Where else you can get it from?
Taxes.
Or you take it out from the poor people paying taxes. Our teachers, our nurses, our doctors, our public servants, you got to take them tax money to pay GRA. Because unless Jagdev and Harman and pay it from their pocket.
Never going to happen.
Well, that's the only answer I can give that individual. Thanks for the question.
We have a call on the line.
Take the call.
Good evening to you. Caller, welcome to the Glen Lall Show.
Hi, good night, and thank you all for keeping up this fight.
You're welcome.
I think we could ask the oil company for close down ExxonMobil till they could negotiate this contract, man. What do you think? Ask them for close down till they could
No, you can't.
this contract.
No, you can't ask them to close down.
Yeah, we got to ask them something.
No. The contract does not give you that leverage, that power to tell them to close down. But the contract. Wait. But the contract says we can renegotiate if both parties agreed. So the question is, why our leaders not talking about renegotiation?
Well, they're never getting a bite. They're never getting a big bite.
Well, I don't know what kind of bite they're getting.
You see, the old man no border money Guyana, Switzerland, bank and left. And I believe all of them might go to.
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy your night, man. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
While we wait on the calls, if you're unable to pay it comes back to the same thing with GRA. If you're unable to pay it, and that means we will be in breach of the contract, what happens? What are the penalties?
Exactly, yes. If the government can't pay GRA, definitely you're in breach of the contract.
Yeah, so what are the penalties?
You're in breach of the agreement. What happens there? I don't know. Tough question. I don't know. I just don't know these answers, bro. Is our government agreed to pay the oil companies' taxes? And if they don't pay it, then I don't know. How do I answer that question?
They'll probably sue us in our own courts, and the courts is gonna order the government to pay the bill. So we'll probably have to pay it twice. That seems like a logical thing.
Or maybe they will go take an international loan, and pay interest and then pay GRA. That's a question Jagdev should answer.
Let's see what magic they'll work.
What?
Caller, good evening to you. Welcome to the Glen Lall Show.
Hi, good night.
Good night to you, sir.
I just want to remind Mr. Lall about something I heard sometime in February at meeting this say concerning this contract. He said that we will have to work with what we have, and it's only sensible people will realize that, you know what, there is nothing these people intend to do to change that.
Perfect. He did say those
thank you
words.
and have a good night.
Thank you. He did say those words.
Yes, he did.
They all gang up together, you know. It's a gang. It's a gang. It's one gang in the PPP, one gang in the PNC. Yeah, they gang up. Ashni Singh, Jagdev, Robert Prasad, Robert Prasad. There's a few of them, man. There's a few of them. And they always stick together. You see, they waited how long for Ashni Singh to come back? And then he took up the finance minister position.
Yep.
He's sitting down talking with critic. He ain't coming to meet the press. Yeah, that's what they're doing now. Online stuff. Tuesday or Wednesday next week, I'm gonna announce it Friday or Monday, the radio station that I'm going on. Then I'll be able to express myself properly.
Are we ever going to get ring fencing with the Exxon contract with the Starboard Block?
If we're going to get ring fencing provision? Oh, sure. I believe so. We must. We have to. We cannot. We should not sit down and allow them to do us what they're doing. No. Government has to change that. I don't care what Jagdev said. They will have to change it. Fifth like Jagdev got to change that. They have to change it. They must change it. If not, people. If not, I pack in my bag and I go and live somewhere in Iceland. They have to change it. You can't. Why wouldn't you want to change it, man? You're being blatantly robbed. You're barefacedly robbed. You know? They're digging you in your eye while they're robbing you. And you ain't gonna change that, man? Come on, man. Come on. No way, man. No way. No way.
Good evening to you, caller. Welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hi, good night to you guys in the studio.
Yes.
You know, I'm listening to you guys constantly, and on many occasions, I'm very much in agreement with Mr. Glenn Lall. But you know, as we doing the blame game and listening to these guys blame game, that is, we blame the prior administration for doing this and that. Exxon is freshening out everything, left, right, and center.
Correct.
All right?
Correct.
I think one of the names you're missing, Mr. Glenn Lall, is Bassington. You was looking for that name.
Yes, Winston Bassington.
Yeah, he came all of a sudden too. But you know, aren't we ashamed, the government in fact, to tell the people that we are celebrating independence every single year, May 26, 50 plus years? You know, and they always compare stuff. They compare this with this minister and that minister. Comparison really distracts people and displeases God.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame what we are going through here. Shipment gone already, and there's no money for the people. You know, we're not even talking about profit sharing, which we are entitled for as Guyanese citizens. But look at the story. You know, your own wealth is being gone. You always give the mango story.
Yes.
And that is as simple as ever. And I am sure many of these politicians are listening.
Yes.
Be it whichever party they represent. And they are ashamed to come in the neighborhoods, right? And come and talk to the people and fool them all the time. False promises. You know, what the government at this time wants is keep the people at low poverty level and uneducated, and come election time, they give them some couscous money, like what you just say, and a t-shirt, and that's one win election, and give them false promises. You know, this is total nonsense. We need to come out and represent our people in every single constituencies, right? Local government going to come on soon. But look at what we're looking at right now. You know, we get natural disaster presently, but we're not supposed to even suffer this natural disaster like this.
Exactly.
With pumps running here and pumps running here, dragline blocking road, and doing that. You know, we get advanced technology, put floats on these pumps, put sluices. We get enough money to survive us, make us, when we're going to become the next Dubai. They're just fooling us there again, just polishing stuff around. You know, I'm going to come out one day with you, Mr. Glenn Lall, at 9 o'clock and support you.
No. Hold 1 second. Hold a second. You don't have to come out. I don't want you guys to come out. I want you guys to come out to your house, call your neighbor, and take a photograph, man, and send it to us.
All right.
You don't have to come out. I don't want you guys come out with us. You don't want the COVID. You got COVID around, man. Just get your neighbors, get your family, get your friends. Let them step out on the road and let them don't cover their face. I hate this thing. You're covering your face.
I'm right with you.
Hold a piece of paper that says, rechange the Exxon contract now. Renegotiate the oil contract now. That's all you got to say, man. Or I support renegotiation of the oil contract. You know, you talk something there that irked me just now. These leaders just waiting for a disaster happen and they're ready to pump money. You know the money where they pump in there? They're thieving out 3/4 of it.
I think 99% of it.
Exactly. I could talk so much on that. Oh my. As a matter of fact, you want me to do a program Friday on that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, you got it. So Friday I'll not be talking about oil. Friday I'll tell you about some contracts.
All right, Mr. Lall, you and your crew there, you're doing a wonderful job. God bless. And you all take care.
God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Thank you
God
very
bless
much.
you too.
Bye-bye.
Very intelligent guy. I want you guys to call your neighbors, call your friends, spread this program. Tell them to listen to the radio.
Yes.
The more they listen, the more they learn. And never forget, education is one of the greatest gifts we can give to any human being.
Say it again.
The greatest gift you can give to any human being is knowledge. Once you educate them, they're good to go. We will fight together. 10 of us, huh?
Tell them the times they can listen, the different times.
Yes, every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7:20. And you can listen back in the morning at 11 a.m. These programs are being played back. You can visit, 1 second. Yes, sir. Hello, sir, you're live. Yeah.
Yes.
You can listen. You can listen from the in the morning back to the program.
And let me remind you, you can send us your photos.
Good evening, sir. You're live on air. Hello?
Hello?
You're live.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Good. You're live on air.
I want to compliment you on the new attire. The
Yeah.
suit the atmosphere.
Thank you. I borrow it, man. I have a good neighbor. I have a good neighbor who's a pastor,
Yeah.
and he lent me it.
Man, you look like you're an Al Jazeera, man.
Yeah, but don't tell anybody, that's between me and you.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
I got a couple of things I want to identify tonight. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Go ahead.
But Mr. Lall, you went to Taiwan, right? And you went to China, right?
Yes.
No, and you know the GDP in China is $13.6 trillion.
I'm not certain, but go ahead.
Right, and they're the second largest economy in the world, right?
Yes, I know that for sure.
No, and Guyana has similar resources as China, and we are ranked 162nd in the world.
Wow.
And our GDP is only ranked at $3.9 billion.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, when are we going to wake up in this country and recognize that we have predators stealing our wealth?
Exactly. They are predators. I second you with that.
When are we going to recognize that we have people in the government talking about bogus vaccine when they should be speaking about bogus contracts that they signed?
I hear you, man. I hear you.
You know? When are we going to start taking care of the Guyanese people? You know? We're in 2021. We got independence in 1966.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my friend?
I hear you.
What is going to happen to my brothers and sisters in the next generation in Guyana?
Oh, that's a tough question for me.
You went to Dubai, sir, right?
Yes.
You went to the Middle East. You
Yes.
went to Abu Dhabi and those places.
Yes.
You know in those places foreigners don't own any land?
Yes, I know that.
Right. Now, We have all these people coming into our country and acquiring land under false pretense. With all these bogus attorneys, these kangaroo attorneys that we got in Guyana. And robbing our people. Right? What example are we setting for the next generation?
Where they will be left with the ocean waters, with the oil and the deadly chemical. That's what we are leaving for them.
Mr. Lall, you know that if we don't unite in Guyana with one voice, right, and we stay disgruntled, these people, these predators are going to manipulate us, my friend.
Yes, they will. A matter of fact,
manipulate us to the point that we are going to have a civil war in our country.
maybe, but I was telling two policemen 2 days ago that we will reach a stage where the police force and the army will be working for the oil companies, with the oil companies, paying them from their own oil money. But they can't understand that. When I explained to them, they were like, oh no. And I told them, I said, right now the police force is escorting these oil containers on the streets. They got traffic police at all the junctions. Stand up on the road, directing traffic, stopping the traffic, just to facilitate the oil operation. And I asked them, I said, you know who's paying the policemen? I said, me and you money. The oil people taking out from our profit as expenses to pay those policemen. And we paying them too. And guess what? We are not getting their services. Their services is to the oil operation. If you fall in an accident here and you need a traffic cop, you can't find one. They're busy already with the oil operation. You understand?
Yes.
And soon they will start hiring detectives as bodyguards for them too, using our oil money, our expenses, their own money to pay them. They did that in many of these African and Asian countries.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that statement.
Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
I'm glad you said that, because tonight I heard you quoting Patrice Lumumba.
Yes.
And you see the plight that Africa is in. And I told you one time when me and you had a conversation.
Yeah.
I said, brother, you have to go to Africa.
Yes.
You have to go to Africa to see the condition of these countries.
My heart, I don't think my heart can stand it. You
went to India, right?
I went North and South India twice. And what I saw there is I couldn't take it. I saw people who look like me and you.
Yes.
Living worse than animals. Hundreds of millions of people go to bed without a meal. I came back and I told my staff the very first time when I went to India.
Listen to me, sir.
Yes.
You see, when you speak like this to the Guyanese people, you want them to understand that you've seen the world.
Yes. Well, a little of the world.
These things. And when you could speak on India, and you could come back and let them know in Guyana, the condition and the plight of the Indian people in India. Those guys in Guyana doesn't want to go to India to live. They won't survive 24 hours in India. The same thing with my other brothers. If they go to Africa, these African countries, they won't last 24 hours. You see? So we have this wealth in Guyana, this new oil wealth. And we need to come together as one people and stand up to these predators and let them know our stuff is not to be taken out like that.
Exactly.
If we don't hold one voice, in the next 5 years, we're all going to be eating crow.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly, my brother. Exactly.
My friend, I want to thank you for your time.
Mhm.
I want to thank you for
Mhm.
using the different attire now. You're looking very businesslike on the TV. You know? And I want you to hold one voice. And now I want you, you mentioned something about that parade they're going to have in Brooklyn.
Oh.
August 15th.
Oh, that's sickening, man.
Could you imagine our Guyanese are marching from Flatbush and Church Avenue to Eastern Parkway about what?
Racism.
Right. When they should be marching for the oil wealth.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sir,
Exactly.
Good night.
Good
Have a
night.
nice
And thanks for calling. Thanks.
You too, man.
Mhm.
So
1 second. I got another call in. Yes, sir. You're on here.
Good evening, Glenn. This is VJ from Orlando.
Yes. Go ahead, Vijay.
I just wonder if Guyanese realize there's only one man holding back that country with that contract. That is Vice President Jagdeo.
I believe you.
Only him doing it. You see, when Jagdeo is a knave. When he got into power there, he realized one thing about Indian people and corruption. So what he did the real good thing. He made all of these cronies very, very rich and wealthy. So they will never go against him. And he makes the decisions, and they have to keep quiet. Look what he did with that guy Ramsel. Ramsel went to study about oil in England.
Yes, 2 years.
Looking after Balibal. So what Jagdeo has done, he has paid all these people. Look what he did with Peter Ramsarup. Now, Peter Ramsarup has been adequately paid. He's an investment czar now. Now, he is singing Jagdeo's tune. So people got to realize there's only one person holding back that contract in Guyana, and that is Jagdeo. Why can't the whole country come together, do something, use common sense, and neutralize him, displace him, push him out? It is so easy. It is so easy.
The man is the king of Guyana.
Well, what kind of a king? I refer to him on the paper as a eunuch. He's not no black king. But it is sad, very sad, that all Guyanese who subscribe to corruption, they kiss his butt for crumbs. And all these people in New York talking about investment, they only care for one thing. Kiss his butt, get some crumbs. Talk about local content. They don't know anything about local content. I like how you quoted Professor Lumumba. I listen to him all the time. And the same thing happening in Guyana. People do not care. They don't care. I don't know when they're going to open their eyes. It is so sad. Anyhow,
It's not that they don't care. It's not that they don't care, Vijay. Vijay, it's a new thing. Oil is the new kid on the block, and people take years, 20, 30 years to understand the sector. So this is why we have to. I have been using the Kaieteur News for the last 6 years, 7 years, almost every day to talk about oil. You understand? It will take some time. A matter of fact, we should have had a curriculum in school right now, but nothing is being done. I am saying if you start one now, by the time a kid reach from 5 to 15 years, 20 years, the kid can find himself in the oil industry, because oil will forever be needed, and our oil will not finish in 20 years. If
there for a long time.
If we allow Jagdeo to run it, it will done in 10 years. Because the man is allowing field after field every hour. The man approved the Payara project within days. International experts says a field development plan review does not take less than 2 years. Jagdeo bring a Canadian woman in 6 weeks. The lady, one individual. The lady approved it.
Yes, I remember. You see, Jagdeo works for Exxon, he and Harman, and they get a good hefty commission, money paid overseas.
Well, I don't know that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Discard it. No. No. I don't want a lawsuit, man. You gotta be careful, man.
All right, sorry about that, but once you read between the line, you know what's happening.
Well, you can say read between the line, but you can't call people names and say that thing. You gotta read between the line.
It is very sad that all these brilliant politicians, lawyers, doctors, what have you, they're all silent. They're all silent. Anyhow, keep up the good work, my friend.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
It's 9 o'clock.
Oh, it's 9 o'clock.
Yes. So
9 o'clock. Guys, go to bed and sleep. Go to bed and sleep. Don't take your pressure tablet. Come on, I didn't give you guys nothing to send you to bed with pain in your heart. So let me tell you guys, do have a good night. Thanks for listening, and may God bless you all.